Thank you for tuning in to episode 14 of First Drafts That Glow, a weekly flash fiction short story project featuring me, Yvonne, or Nails That Glow, depending on how you know me. I want to thank you, for keeping up with me. I'm sorry I missed last week. I got a COVID booster and a flu shot, and it just sucked the life out of me. And then I went to go see the opera Carmen because I like opera, and man, was it good. I haven't been to an opera in a while, in a hot minute, and just chef's kiss. Yeah, I'm fussing over my hair. I hate my hair still. I want it to either be longer or feel comfortable enough to go get a haircut again. Social anxiety. Yay! The opera was difficult, but I at least could focus on that, and I was wearing a mask, and so was my friend. So, yeah, little panic attack, but anyways. So today's episode, it's Oh Me Touch, and that sounds weird now that I say it. Oh Me Touch. Anyways, when I wrote it out, it looks poetic, so that's why I went with it. As you know, when I create these stories, I get like a random word generator or ask somebody for some random words, and I write them down, and I think the most I did was like 10. I average about 5 or 6, and out of those words I try to come up with a name, and I generally have an idea about the genre I want to approach. So with this one, I knew I wanted to do romance, and Oh and Touch was in there, and I was like, yeah, that could be good. And I started out wanting to write a positive, happy romance story that was, like a real world experience and not fantasy or science fiction or horror or anything like that. The only other kind of like realistic story I did was that kind of detective story. It was a bit messy, but that's the whole point of this project, to just have entertaining stories to tell. And if they inspire you to write something, or just inspire you in general to write your own stories, awesome. If they're just entertaining to you and you come here to listen to my voice and watch my face and see my cool... Look, that's me. Is really cute. Yes, I realize I use 2 different pronouns there, but I am non-binary, so I can do whatever the hell I want, the fuck I want. And Galactus with Silver Surfer. Love Galactus, always have. People keep telling me there was a movie with Silver Surfer in it, and I for the life of me, I can't. There's a void. In my mind, like a giant nebulous cloud. Anyways, also I've started a podcast, audio podcast. By the time you hear this, it'll be 3 episodes deep. It's called Abstractions That Glow. I'm still playing with the format, and I'm still trying to find somebody who would be interested in being in the show weekly. So it's just me. A few topics. The consistent topics right now are fuck this. So like my first 2 episodes were fuck Zack Snyder's superhero films, and then the second episode was fuck J.K. Rowling because fuck her. I don't know what episode 3 is going to be about. I try to not plan too much ahead of time, since it's just thoughts. You know, it's the name abstractions, because they are thoughts. Anyways, I know I'm retarded. You want me to get to this story. So in this story today, it is a sapphic romance, and I really wanted to make it a positive, happy, girls fall in love, have a nice time, maybe throw in a little bit of like, ooh, drama, does she love her kind of thing. But characters told me something else, and they told me this after I did some of the establishing, like the first few paragraphs talking about one of the characters, her experience told me that she was going to need more than the other character that had already come into my mind. And each of these characters are like amalgams of like about a dozen people. And, all writers do that. We all do that. Even in tabletop role-playing games, you always like think of that one person that you knew. But they're nobody specifically. So if you know me and you're listening to this, you think it's about you, don't be Warren Beatty about this. Even though Carly Simon did write it about him, this is not about you. This is about these two characters and the story that they told me was happening. It just works like that. I wish I understood how that works, but if you ever get into writing and you try to do something that the characters just don't want to do, it won't work in the story. It just won't. And I've read interviews with writers that have lamented decisions that they made in some stories, saying, I knew this was a mistake when I wrote it, and it made, the future chapters or entries, more difficult to work with this character because of this thing. And, I'm sure I'll run into that eventually, especially if I, get like hired to write something and, the character's like, I'm going to do this. And, the powers go, no, they're going to do something else. And it's just going to be like ass. But let me pull it back because, as you know, I'm just going to sit here and talk until I start reading the story. And some of you have told me, just read the fucking story, Avon. Just read it. So that's what I'm going to do. All right. Got my readers on. I know, I'm a goofy bastard. Do this. Whoa. Alright. I mean, my hair isn't too bad. It is getting to be a nice length. It's a nice purple. I did some cute makeup today. Look. No blush because I figured the lighting would wash it out anyways, so. And also, eyeliner and stuff. I was a goth kid. That stuff, I poked myself in the eye. I put the eyeliner on the waterline. I think I just might never do that again. Unless somebody hires me to model for them and they do it themselves, okay, pay me. But until then, I'm just gonna do some weird punky stuff, things, words. I do words good. if you're wondering why I'm looking over here, I have my screen to my left, monitoring the recording and everything. So I apologize. I'm trying not to look at it and just trust the technology. But last time I trusted technology, Skynet happened. Anyways, I am so freaking random. Okay, this is supposed to be a romance. I shouldn't be talking about sci-fi shit, even though I am wearing a Star Trek badge. Yeah, science, baby. Science! All right. This is Oh Me Touch, a First Drafts That Glow story by me, Avon. I do want to say a few caveats here. There is mention of the pandemic, mention of pandemic-related death, and drug usage. And I think that's just really important to say before I start reading the story. I don't want you to get invested and then be like, oh, damn. So I understand if this isn't a good story for you. I had no idea I was going to talk about either of these things when I came up with the idea, but man, this character, she just told me what her story was. And all right, you ready? Okay. Early in the pandemic, Beth lost her wife. Before anyone knew what to do or there were any protections, Susan contracted the virus one of the days she was out trying to get supplies for the house just before the lockdown. The fabric bandana just didn't do enough. The overwhelmed hospital had her on a ventilator and tried to keep her going. Being connected to the unfortunate statistic of the number of deaths in those early days, that was hard. What made it worse was the number of people that were insisting that the virus just wasn't real. Beth knew it was real. She lost the love of her life. She didn't even get to see her. Beth was driving from New York to Washington State. Susan asked her to drive, not to take a plane, asked her not to go to a hotel, to wear a mask, and try to avoid people as much as possible. One grocery shopping trip, and Susan's precautions were for nothing. She was in the hospital and a day from death by the time Beth got to town. She was told to go home and isolate. She never got to have a proper funeral. She held a wake online with friends and family, few of them insisting Susan must have died from something other than the fake virus. This is when Beth withdrew. 2 years later, vaxxed up and fresh out of detox, she decided to go on vacation to Hawaii. She found a small jet service with vaccination requirements and decided to spend a few months in the sun and try to find companionship. This is what Susan asked her to do. It was in a video she made the day after she started getting sick. She was being her normal self and trying to prepare for everything. It took Beth a year to watch it. Susan talked about her love and joy and how she wanted Beth to feel fulfilled in her life because she had a feeling of being complete with her. The hotel and the lavish clothing were atypical for Beth. She had never been flashy. She could not really afford it. Her and Susan had lived modestly and would go on budget vacations to Europe or some tourist trap in the States. The life insurance policy Susan had was not small. Beth had the ability to do her work remotely through the lockdown and had money saved. The policy paid out more than she ever thought she could use. Susan even had a cold wallet filled with hundreds of crypto coins she got when they first showed up as a fun collectible, like the Beanie Baby collection craze and her and her not small collection of Beanie Babies. That's why we're here. Beth had more than enough to drown herself in decadence for 2 months. She was for the 2 months she was going to be here. She was sober now, considering starting drinking again. Her thinking was she could feel good spoiling herself and flirting with all the young women she could. Liv was a player. Before the pandemic, she had a dozen girlfriends paying for her apartment, food, clothing, and attention. She had that natural beauty and low ethics combination that made her that girl your friends tell you to avoid. When the pandemic hit, she was caught in a loop of survival and desperation. She contracted the virus twice and recovered. All her girlfriends stopped talking to her. Some of them fell off sooner than others. She had to hustle after that. She started gig work and occasionally got hired to be part of some photo shoots. Of course, she ended up making a porn page and finding a solid fan base that was more than happy to pay $8 a month to see her do interesting things. The of course shouldn't be there. It should just say, she ended up making a porn page. Sorry about that. After a while, the world started opening and she wanted to get out there and find some girlfriends and try to expand her page. Most of her skills was convincing college students to do a video with her before they flew back home to the mainland. It was surprisingly easy to get them to be okay being on her page. Some of them even had modest followings themselves, and things just kept getting better. No longer did she need to hustle and play women for rent and bills. Just find cuties, have fun. Made life less stressful. None of these girls would catch feelings, and she never really cared for anyone her whole life more than she cared for herself. The money Liv generated gave her the lifestyle she had always wanted. The pandemic was not awesome. She sometimes felt she might suffer from the long-term effects. Sometimes she could not think clearly, and she got sleepy at random times. Thankfully, energy drinks and drugs helped. She had lived in an apartment building filled with families and ultra-conservative boomers. She didn't think of moving at all. She just rode the wave of her newfound wealth by staying in random hotels on the islands and some of the spas. She was due for some time to herself and not be worried about looking perfect for videos with the time it took to set up the lights and get things signed. She just wanted to have some carnal fun. The beach was golden in the early morning sun. Beth was sipping tea, blended... I can't even talk. That's why we're here. Why we're here. How do you like it so far? All right. The beach was golden in the early morning sun. Beth was sipping a tea blend the waiter said was as soothing as it was sweet. The number of tropical drinks with alcohol was dwarfed by the number that were not. She was trying all of them, even the ones that sounded a bit wrong. Her earbuds started to slip out of her ears as the humidity started to rise. The beach also started to fill with more people, and her perfect view was not amusing anymore. She decided to go to one of the pools and sun herself and people watch and see if any cuties caught her attention, or even the other way. Liv had been at the same hotel for a week. She was taking time off her daily routine and also trying to relax. The spa treatments and occasional encounter had so far been just what she needed. She had not taken a break like this since the lockdown. She was up at the crack of dawn and started slamming the frozen rainbow drinks the bar served round the clock. Well, they served her. She tipped well. The sun was hanging in a clear sky with a crisp breeze, with the ocean waves filling out sounds between the occasional diver and yip of excitement. Beth was thinking she might fall asleep in the small cabana she was in. She moved to pull the curtains facing the pool area, leaving the ocean view and the sun kissing her. Just as the curtains drop, Beth sees a beautiful woman with that rock star vibe and a confidence that was very distracting. The woman catches Beth looking at her as she closes the curtains, feeling the rush in her face. Wow, she is cute, Beth says to herself. Someone like her would never be into me. I bet I'm just too old and fat. Beth looks at her body and decides she might be a little too critical again. Sarah always told Beth how sexy she was. Well, I guess if I see her again, I'll talk to her. Sitting up to adjust the button on the curtains to signal privacy, Beth sees eyes looking through the slight opening. Hi there, Liv says brightly. I'm Liv. Can I get you a drink? Opening the curtain. I'm trying to be sober, but if you want to get me one of those fruit teas, I'll really enjoy that. Please, come in. Hey, come here. Liv waves down a waiter, gives him an order, and sends him off after tapping her phone on his tablet, his face lighting up and speeding away. Well, not many sober gals here. I ordered the same for myself. Oh, you can drink. I don't mind. Girl, I've had 6 of those tall glasses of various rainbows. I'm buttered toast right now. Beth laughs. Goodness, it isn't even 9 a.m. Yeah, I'm that bitch for sure. What's your name? I'm Beth. Nice to meet you, Liv. Same. What brings you to this gilded paradise? You must be drunk. That sounded a little cynical. Beth hating herself as soon as she said it. Liv smiles wide and lets out a ha. Oh, I like you. Finishing off her drink, setting the glass on the side table, she sighs. Yeah, I am a bit spoiled since I live on the islands. Well, that must be nice. It's expensive. Not much land to explore unless you want to get on a boat or a plane. The number of people that just live on the beach is gross, and trailing off, she looks at Beth. Sorry. It is nice. Sometimes I get grim for no reason, and I might have overdone it this morning. It's okay. My wife was like that sometimes. Oh, are you married? What's that like? Beth sighs, breathes in deeply. Well, she died at the start of the pandemic. Oh shit, I'm sorry. Liv reaches for Beth's hands and holds them. How long were you married? Almost 10 years, but we knew each other since high school. It was the most natural thing to ever happen in my life. One day we had been together for a few years and both of us just started talking about marriage. Liv makes room for the waiter to step in and set the drinks down and bow out quickly. I'm sorry for your loss. I've never been that close to anyone. It's fine. I came here to try to find my groove, so to speak, and try to get back on that horse. She kind of told me to. Liv smirks. She told you? Yeah, I'm out here trying to find some fun and just release my stress before going back home. I'm a very forward sort of girl. I'm going to kiss you now because your face has been in full blush since I got in here. Beth nods. Okay. The sunset casting its orange and red into the room filled them both with a renewed energy as they grabbed at each other with yips and laughing. As the night progressed, they held each other as they watched reruns of the 90s Charmed TV show, both making fun of Rose McGowan's inability to act, but the amazing tops she wore and how she filled them out. In the morning, they ate breakfast in the main dining hall. Liv, that was a wonderful day. And night, bitch. Yes, you are quite unlike any woman I've ever met or even been with. You a player, Beth? Liv says through her smirk. Oh gosh, no. Shaking her head and almost choking. I really haven't had many girlfriends. And my wife, well, I was not one of the sharing types. You're just so glam and oh gosh, I don't know what I'm saying. You're just so pretty and I am so happy we met. Smiling, Liv stretches out. Well, I am hot as fuck. Winking at Beth, she takes the moment to catch her gaze. Would you like to go horseback riding or go to the theater? I can show you some of the stores that have great outfits. Beth smiles softly and blushes. Well, gosh, I'm not sure I'm up for all that. I have a mud bath this afternoon and then a massage after that. Perhaps we can do something in the next few days? That's fine. Let me give you my room number and phone number. Scratching down the info on a napkin and placing it in front of Beth. You want to go back to your room for an hour before our day start? Yes. They both rush away from the table. Beth's room door opens slowly as Liv holds Beth's head, kissing her. Liv smiles between each kiss and chuckles. Have a nice day, cutie. Text me soon, okay? Beth nods. Okay, Liv. See you. The rest of the day, Liv feels different. Something about this mousy personality of Beth that was something that she wanted to protect. Her soft kisses, the belly roundness, her smell, it all stuck in her head as if it were a rail spike holding down tracks. Once in her room, she finished off the remainder of her minibar, ordered more, and rolled a blunt, then passed out. The following 2 days, Liv did not hear from or see Beth. She even went to her floor a few times to walk by her door in hopes of catching her coming out or hearing her. She found herself spending time at the pool in the early morning and sitting in the restaurant for brunch. Her entire pattern of being drunk and hitting on most every girl had changed to her thinking about Beth and staying mostly sober. She drank lightly and smoked thick blunts. The cloud that surrounded her made some people cringe when she walked by, and others, well, they were mostly the gross men. She found a receipt for Beth's drinks in her jacket pocket. This made her excited. The third day, Liv decided if Beth was going to call, it would be today. She spent time at the spa in the morning, getting groomed and a facial. She was in the sauna when she got a text and almost fell over as she leaned to grab her phone. It was one of the other girls she had given her number to. Nah, bitch. You're not hitting this again, she says out loud. Few of the other women looking at her with furrowed brows. Oh, sorry. She folds her hands around her phone and holds it to her chest. That evening, Liv had passed out in the lounge. One of the staff woke her and offered to help her to her room. She felt offended and stumbled her way to the elevators. As the door closed, she catches a glimpse of Beth walking in a gown with another girl. Her vision up close and her coordination was not good. She couldn't manage to keep the doors open or stop it from going up the 12 floors. She stayed in the elevator and pushed what she thought was the lounge level. When the door opened, it was just another floor with rooms, and the overwhelming warmth in her mouth won, and she emptied her stomach and passed out again. The next day, she woke up in the hospital with an IV in her arm and a sore head. After a day in the hospital and a lengthy conversation with the hotel management, Liv got back to her room. Hello, room service? She starts to undress in a dance while holding the phone. Yeah, can you send me a steak? Rare. I also need some fruit juice. What? No alcohol, thanks. Whatever veggies are the freshest. Yeah, cool, that's fine. Hey, could you also send a message to another room for me? She stares at the wall as she gives Beth's room number. The message? I've been working on a personal matter. Sorry for being absent. I would like to have dinner with you if you are free. I would like to spend more time with you before we go back to the real world." Her face stays stone still as she listens to the clerk repeat the message. "Cool, thanks. When the food is ready, just bring it in. I'll be unable to get the door." Suddenly, she felt better. Now, time for a bath and wait for Beth to reply. After Liv had left, Beth felt energized. She felt pretty and sexy. If she could attract such a fox like Liv, well, the engine had been primed. She collects her earbuds and makes sure her phone is charged. Opening the notepad on her phone, she adds to the pages of text she's been keeping daily. She writes, "Met a beautiful woman and had an amazing time that felt like I was in my 20s again. I was so afraid I would not be able to find the space to allow myself to be intimate with another woman. It was awkward at first. Thankfully, she was willing to drive, and I feel better than I have in a while. She seems eager to meet again, but as the elevator door opens to the spa, she just loads her book and hits play." Later that night, she decides to go to the beach bar. She had not been up to it before. The lights and the drinks were strong and vibrant. The dress she wore was more of a wrap, a sarong really, with a bikini top. Minimal makeup, she felt so soft and clean from the spa pampering. Why cover her face with foundation? Just slight blush and a rose lip stain. Took her an hour to get the courage to talk to the dark-skinned girl that was dancing most of the time. Beth watched her do shots with her friends and kept trying to think of even what to say to her. Twice the girl looked at Beth, and the second time she winked. Beth's heart raced as the woman danced her way through the crowd, moving to the beat. Beth kept sight of her, watching her dance and deciding on what to say. Finishing her shot when the song ended, she orders 2 more. "Here we go." "Hi, my name is Beth, and I just realized I carried 2 shots from the bar. Wasn't thinking. Can I get you a drink up at the bar?" The woman laughs. "Well, you're too formal for me to think you sus." Let me do that again. The woman laughs. "Well, you're too formal for me to think you sus." She grabs one of the drinks, raising it to toast. "To the passions of the moon and the tides of the sea." Clinking the glass and downing the shot, they both grimace a bit. "Is that a custom toast?" Beth says. Something my gran would say. She was a randy old sow, letting out a burst of laughter. "You should come meet my friends, Beth. I think we can all hang out." "Well, thank you. What is your name?" "Kalani." The rest of the night, Beth was treated to sisterhood. She cannot recall the last time she just spent time with women and didn't feel anxious about how they felt about her. She kept her dead wife out of the conversation. She realized that was a bit too much sharing with Liv. As the night wrapped up, Kalani invited Beth to her room. The next morning, Kalani suggested Beth talk to her friend Lana. "Oh? What could she possibly want to talk to me about?" Beth blinks in the bright light of the morning sun spilling into the hallway. Kalani laughs. "Oh, you are too adorable. She wants to hang out with you, silly. She told me how envious she was of me last night. I thought you might be interested. Did I get that wrong?" Beth feels her face turn bright red. "Well, like I said last night, I've not been out and about in a long time. I'm not really that observant or adventurous either, it seems." "You are a hot woman, Beth. I suggest you and Lana go to this dance club tonight." Grabbing a pad of paper and pen on the table next to the door, she fills it out. "I'm not trying to have a new partner every night or anything, you know. I'm just out here having fun." "Yeah, so are we. That's what vacations like this is for. Single girls having fun and not trying to move in on the first date." Just some fun and back to the world of gray order. Beth nods and smiles. Thank you, Kalani. You are very beautiful. Leaning to kiss. If you see me alone the next few nights, feel free to say hi. That night, Beth takes Lana to a club with a drag show followed by a bombastic live band. The stage filled with the rainbow of queer people twerking and dead-dropping as the dance floor looked like a sea during a storm. Beth and Lana didn't have much time to talk. Lana was more of a hands-on girl. Beth started understanding why her friends were so insistent she came on this vacation alone. She finally felt normal again. The next day, Beth fell into a conversation with a woman at the pool. She was also there after a loss and was happy to have another woman that understood that pain. Beth welcomed the shift in energy and invited her to dinner and drinks. The woman countered, "Well, would you like to go to a fashion show?" And I just burped, so I had to stop myself. All right. That's why we're here, right? "Well, would you like to go to a fashion show as my date?" "That sounds so fun," Beth replied with excitement. "I finally have a reason to wear this new gown I have." "Well, okay, Beth. I hope it will have an open bar at least. I'm a bit of a stingy bitch." Nervously laughing, Beth says, "Oh, I'm sure you're not that bad, May." They agree to meet back in the lobby in a few hours. Beth was overjoyed. She finally popped the cork on whatever was holding her within herself. Yeah. The world felt open and welcoming again. In her room, she fussed far too long on the shoe options and even got room service to bring her a frozen margarita to calm her nerves. "No sense in being sober anymore," she says. Back in the lobby, Beth met up with her date, and they walked holding hands out to the valet. For a moment, Beth thinks she sees Liv out of the corner of her eye, but dismisses it quickly. The fashion show was unlike anything Beth had seen in person. May pulled Beth from cluster to cluster. She seemed to know everyone and was showing Beth off. Between people clusters, Beth pulls May to one of the bars. "The way you look at me, I'm still not used to this kind of attention." May takes a shot, offers one to Beth, rises to toast and clinks the glasses before downing it. "You said that before. I just don't think you've really found yourself yet. I wanted to bring you here because I wanted you to see how alike you are to so many of these people. The models and overworked faces with professional makeup people. You look better than all of them without as much effort. You're also just nice. You notice how fake some of these people are?" "Oh, I don't know. They all seem nice enough." "You just don't know this crowd." May looks around, then back at Beth. "Or am I just a jaded monster?" She says jubilantly, "I'm sorry. I want us both to have fun. No more heavy talking." The rest of the show was a blur of color, impossibly contoured people wearing improbable clothing, and music dissonance that almost made Beth itchy. May took her to an after-party that happened on a yacht. They both passed out in a large living room space on the main deck with a dozen other people. The host offered to let everyone stay another day and night if they wanted. He just wanted to keep on the water and see if he could get some fishing in. "We can take one of the small boats if you want. Would be about an hour to shore, I think," May offers. "Oh no, I don't think I've been on a boat like this in my life. That one show made stuff like this seem so interesting. You know, the one about the yacht cruise?" Beth's eyes wide as she spoke. "Oh, thank goodness," May replies. "I really wanted to stay and talk to that girl over there and see if, she's into girls." May moves to get up. "Unless you want..." She trails off. Beth smiles and blushes. "Oh gosh, no. I'm just fine. Go have fun. I'm a big girl." May kisses her. Back at the hotel, we should have a proper we should do another proper date then. Beth nods. I would like that very much. Once back at her hotel room, Beth reviews the days with May and how the week had been so surreal and so much fun. She felt like she could be normal back home again. But May was something special. Not sure if she was relationship material, but very much friend material, she thought. She calls her room service and schedules another spa session for acupuncture and a massage. We also have a message for you, the clerk adds at the end. I can read it, or we can print it out and bring it to you. Read it. After hearing the message, Beth sits furrowed brow and shoulders slumped. I wonder why she sent a message. Beth decides Liv was just eager to have sex again and dismissed it. She's just being thirsty, Beth decides to call May. Liv had waited. No reply from Beth. Her social media alerts were blowing up from fans and friends. Normally, she enjoyed thumbing through the feed to get her ego boost. She just waited for Beth. The night came and morning stung her sleepless eyes. She stared into the distance with no focus, grabbing her phone every few moments to see if she got a message from Beth. She calls the front desk and asks to deliver another message. The clerk takes the message. And check to see if there are any messages for me, she adds before the clerk can hang up. We would have called you as soon as we received the message. You have no notes or messages in our system, nor is there anything in the mail slot for you. Well, has my room phone been working? You do have my cell phone, right? The sigh was louder to Liv than it really was, as the clerk says, We have all your information, miss. If anything comes up, we can call your cell phone first. If you like. Yes, please do that. Liv hangs up the phone. She walks around the room a few times, gaining speed. She then jumps on the bed, buries her face in the pillow, and screams. She starts to cry with the pillow wrapped on either side of her head. Holding it in place, she rolls onto her back. She tries to yell again and fails to find her voice between her tears. Throwing the pillow off, she fumbles for her phone. She tells her phone to open a text message to the man. She types in a number 2 and the room number with the hotel name. Moments later, a reply comes, 20 minutes. She gets up, washes her face, and reapplies her makeup. She loses herself in this task and nearly pokes her eye with the pencil when the knock at the door echoes through. Well, that was fast, she says, opening the door to a medium-build white man with ratty hair wearing Gucci everything. Nah, I'm a bit late. I got caught up with another sale, and the fool was trying to haggle. He walks in the room, sitting on the bed. He waits for the door to close before pulling a gun from under his shirt, followed by a leather fanny pack. He unzips it, throwing out 2 bags of powder. Coin or cash? Liv walks over to her phone, opening her crypto wallet. Coin. I haven't had time to pull cash. All right, none of that side coin shit you tried on me last time. No, I got you. I got stable coin for you. Same price? Nah, take a bit off. You seem like you take a bit off. You seem like you hurtin'. He sneers, showing off decoration in his teeth. Cool, man. Sent the coin. Should hit you in a few. No worries, girl. You good. Putting his gun and pouch back, he stands. I need to talk to anyone for you? Liv thinks for a moment longer than she should have. No, it's just feeling a bit down. I'm just at that place. It'll pass. Thanks, man. Cool. If you need me, you know I got you. Thanks. Hugging him by standing on her toes, she kisses his cheek. Grunting a positive, yeah. He puts his hand on her head. You take care, Liv. Can't wait to see you post on your site again. The door barely closes before Liv has her metal straw and tray out. She sets up 4 rows and makes them vanish with a quickness. She grabs a mineral water from the fridge and sips on it as her head, heart, and mind all enter another place. When she wakes up the next morning, her phone is still playing music. The hyper-aggressive music hurts her nose somehow. She finds her body hates moving as she fumbles around for her phone before just calling out to it to shut up. Her throat is sore, and even her hair feels like nails. It takes a moment for her to notice she's only wearing socks, and one of the plastic bags delivered yesterday was on her right hand like a fingerless glove. She looked over her body and saw a few bruises, and faintly recalls falling over a few times while trying to twerk and do handstands. Well, fuck. I hate doing thick makeup on my body. Her mind goes over the time and effort to cover the discolorations for filming. She yells for her phone. What time is it? 11 a.m. Would you like the weather and news? Shut the fuck up. After an hour, she's showered and dressed. She finds the other bag and is thankful she did not get into that last night. How the fuck did it get into the lampshade? She mutters to herself. Checking her phone, she sees her dealer send a message of an eye and a shield. Why can't you type words, weirdo? She sees the mounting social media messages and feels the weight of them suddenly. She was here for a bit longer. Real life can just wait. Deciding she just needs to see Beth now, Liv checks her makeup, does a once-over on her outfit. Her stomach begins to growl as the elevator opens. She offers a cringe smile to the people in the elevator, pushing Beth's floor as she walks in. She feels her nose running as the doors open to her floor. Her hand comes back with some blood and white specks float in her vision. Get a grip, bitch, she mutters to herself, pulling her sleeve out a little to clean the blood from her face. Standing in front of Beth's door, she takes a deep breath and knocks. The door opens to a glowing smile from one of the house cleaners. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking for the woman that's staying here. The woman smiles. I think she left this room. She checked out? A wave of fatigue washes across her vision. I don't think so. We took her stuff to another room. Can you, tell me which room? Liv feels the blood on her lip just before tasting it. Oh, I'm afraid I can't do that, miss. If you want to go to the desk, they may be able to help you. The worried look a mother has for her child develops on the cleaner's face. Do you need any help, miss? Are you staying in this hotel? Yes, I'm staying here. I don't need shit. I'm going to the desk. The house cleaner nods and closes the door. Liv hears some talking through the door, deciding to report the woman for being rude. The elevator ride felt like it took an hour. The trip to the desk on the bottom floor was not even 20 yards from the elevator, but it felt like a mile. Her forehead felt damp, and her mouth dried up in total. When she got to the desk, the clerk gasped as he grabbed the phone requesting an ambulance. Liv hits the floor, losing focus. A woman identifying herself as a doctor comes quickly to Liv's side. She feels her body being moved and her head propped up, her face looking at the entrance as her vision clouds over and cleared in no pattern. Her hearing was wrong as well. She knew people were asking her something. Even if she could hear, she wouldn't be able to speak. Just before she passes out, she sees Beth carrying a bag, holding the hand of another woman, with a robot cart following her outside with luggage. Liv tries desperately to jump up and run to Beth to proclaim how much she loves her and wants to spend more time with her. How she would give up her lifestyle if Beth would only give her a chance. She feels the paramedics lift her as the medical smell of the mask overtook her, taking her into slumber. Yeah, I did that. I fucking did that. Please don't hate me. The story started out as Beth finding like the ability to feel comfortable being with somebody new. That's where I started. That's where I wanted to start with the story. And I wanted the person and the people she met and partied with, I guess. Yeah, the people she met, I wanted them to be larger than life kind of characters. You know, the kind of people you only meet when you're on vacation, far from home. You know, the kind of people, when you meet them, some of the inhibitions and the caution kind of melt away. Especially if somebody like Liv is your first, like, kind of, you know, breaking the seal of that protection. You know, you have somebody so, like, over the top, you know, be like, hey, you're hot, let's party. And, you know, then you say to yourself, you know, that was fun, but she's a bit cray. Let me see if I can find somebody more normal, you know. And I'm not even trying to suggest that there's an excessive promiscuity or anything like that. We all have a right to be sexual people and have fun, party. And, you know, I try to be really sex positive in general. I will say some of the experiences Beth had, I've had. Don't at me. It wasn't a boat though. I don't know if I could be on a yacht and that chill. But I have been in vacation situations where, you know, it's just like, this feels like a fucking movie, but it's just, you know, people wanting contact and having fun. And Liv's lifestyle, like, I wanted to also just do a little bit of commentary on the pandemic that really affected me, really affected a lot of people. You know, Liv as a character, having contracted COVID twice and recovering, I tried to show some of the long COVID symptoms that she had without being too, like, hammy about it. And then, of course, you know, going on a cocaine bender, you know, doing a whole 8-ball. And, you know, just not taking care of yourself as you obsess over this one night stand, you know, this, like, momentary tryst that you have. And as a sex worker, you don't expect that to happen to you, but when it, you know, everybody's weak to catching feelings sometimes. And, you know, if you're hurting already, which I hope I expressed Liv was, because that's why she was trying to stay away from her social feed and, you know, just spend a few weeks at the hotel. I think the story is sound. Like, I'm pretty sure I could go back and flesh it out a bit more. Maybe do longer chapters for each character before going to the hotel. Maybe making sure all the days sync up, which I think they do. But yeah, like and subscribe. I really hope you liked that story. I enjoyed writing it. I enjoyed reading it for you. The representation matters. You know, sapphic love is amazing. Girls loving girls, women loving women, actually. There's nothing wrong with calling a grown woman girl, but we just don't infantilize people. But yeah, feminine love is amazing, and so is masculine love. I mean, it's all fantastic. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm saying. This is just me being all ranty after reading. Again, I really hope you liked the story. Thank you so much for showing up and giving it a listen. Just to remind you, you can visit my webpage, nailsthatglow.com. All of my social media projects, nightly blog, some of my Spotify playlists, links to old work of mine, just a hub about me. Because we're all not really sure what's gonna be happening with Twitter. It's just Elon Musk is an idiot. Fuck you, Elon. Is that how you say his name? I don't know. Anyways, he's a fucking moron. I've been I don't want to end on that. Grimes, you're amazing. You're an amazing elf being, creature, alien entity. What's up, girl? I have been Avon, or Nails That Glow. This has been First Drafts That Glow, and I love you.